All right, ladies and gents, welcome back and welcome to another free-for-all game. Only this is with high-level players. We have some big names, we have some big talents, and it is now $250 for the player here who gets first place, $150 for second, and then $100 for third, with still $25 per king kill throughout the game, regardless of who you are. I'm using the new version of Capture Age, which we developed over the course of many months. It shows all the kings. It shows a lot of data, which we'll talk about throughout the day, of course. And I am excited. But let's do the introductions. And we're going to start off with C-Bomb. Okay? C-Bomb was our lowest rated player here. He's a 1600 rated player. One of the few players below 2K that was actually able to make it in based on our top 48 signups. And C-Bomb is someone who you guys probably recognize from videos and from this community because he's played in community games. So he comes in here with an edge, I think, when it comes to that at least. He got his first pick of Civ. He goes for the Mongols here. Next to him is Valis. Valis is a whole 900 elo higher than C-Bomb. Valis is the top 20 player in ranked. He's from Finland. He's playing as the Slavs. In the teal, we have Dr. Cosmonaut, a 2K1 player, a player who is in the top 100, as most of these players are. He's a Turkish player playing as the Berbers here. Why is there a queen? What? Is this a... Okay, has Emmy made the maps? Has Emmy, did you intentionally add a queen? And did you tell the players that there were queens and that the queens don't matter? Trust me, you do. You do actually matter. You're beautiful. No, but like, they don't actually do anything. I hope the players aren't confused. The queen is for scouting? Okay, well, hopefully they realize that they can lose their queen. Anyways, we'll continue. In the yellow, we have Stefan. 2K3 player, top 100. Crazy with team games. Stefan playing as the Britons. Also performed very well in my Regicide Rumble events in the past. Here in the gray, we've got the Illusionist, a player who people don't really know a lot about. I'll talk more about him later. He is playing as the Chinese. He's a great player as well, though. Here you've got I am Titas, or Tataz, excuse me. I am going to mispronounce his name all day. I want to say Tataz, but that's probably not great when there's a queen out here. It's disrespectful. But anyways... He's Portuguese. He's an 1800 from Mexico who said, I don't really know how to play tournaments. I hate forums to me this morning. And we got him into the game last minute. He should be good to go here. Song. I think the highest rated player in the game. He's top 20 as well from Vietnam, playing as the Khmer. And then you've got Soxy, an Australian player. Whoa! Wait a second. So we have the two Australians next to each other. Oh, there could be an Aussie connection here. Soxy, a 2K1 player. Maybe he will want to team up with C-Bomb. So look at this. We have the conversation already. I'm really curious today on how much of this conversation we're going to have from the high-level players. C-Bomb says, neutral, Valis, you don't like me, frowny face. And Valis says, you ran to my TC. Which feels like a really silly thing to put someone to neutral on. I think you could kind of see that Valis hasn't allied a lot of people. In fact, most of these players haven't allied anyone yet. There's a clear difference between how high-level players play these settings and how the community game players play. And someone has just now declared war on Valis. Like, this Diplo stuff is hilarious to me because it doesn't make any sense for us experienced community gamers. Look at how few people have actually set alliances right now. Except for Soxy and except for C-Bomb. So, like, they're setting people to neutral and everything, which, like, I always say is horrible to do. Because it just makes people think that they don't trust them. Alright, well, anyways, let me zoom out real quick. I have to disagree with a lot of their decisions, but it cracks me up. And I want to talk about the map. So the map is Donut. A map you will see in Battle of Africa tourneys, which is a 3v3 event. And so the thing about this map is you kind of need to rely on trade or aggression. You get 2 golds, and that is it. You get 2 stones, and that is it. You can see around, there are some relics out there. That's not really going to bring you that much gold. So you're going to need to trade, and you might even need to destroy some people, too. Like, this could be a fast game. You might want to clear someone out to take their gold. There's a lot of reasons why you might want to be aggressive, a lot of reasons why you might want an ally here. If I would guess, I would say this is probably the shortest of all the games on the Pro Weekend. And for people who are watching on YouTube later, We have 3 games on Saturday with these exact same settings, different maps, and then 3 games Sunday. So a total of 6 games that'll eventually come up for you. Song. Okay, so here's the deal. We had signups for all of this. I posted all the settings, and then I also posted when the players were playing. As of 35 minutes ago, Song was not in the Discord, and I messaged him because I talked to him about other events, and I said, "Are you ready for RR4?" And he said, "RR4 question mark. What that?" So I then said, "You signed up. This is it." And I posted it. He said, "Oh, I forgot. What's the link?" And then he joined the lobby, and now he's here. So in terms of preparation, plus you also have to add in that possible language barrier because Song, while he does speak English, he might not be able to do like this crazy diplo with eloquent wording. Maybe Song's at a disadvantage due to lack of prep and just not being completely prepared for today. We will see, though. So you can see the total economy here. I'm going to have that up for you. I believe the reason you're not seeing Song having as many villagers is because he's going up already with the Khmer. You can actually look at his stockpile, and you can see this is going to be a crazy fast castle for him. 700 food, 200 gold. And yeah, C-Bomb, let's go. See, I knew it. C-Bomb says, "Whatever happens, I want an Aussie to win this." He's saying this to Soxy. Now, I didn't know that they would be next to each other. I had no way of setting that up. It just happened. He said, "I won't set you to enemy unless we're the only 2 left." And Soxy said, "Then it's got to be you." Now, the other thing I should point out about Soxy is Soxy's been watching my content for many, many, many years. And Soxy is someone, I mean, he's been hanging out in the Facebook gaming chat even. He has played in these types of events before and in my community games before. So it's not like he's brand new to this. He's on the way to Castle Age right now, as is Song. And then also, look what Valis has done. The other thing I didn't bring up about the map is that you cannot wall on this. This is like water terrain. It might not look like it, but it is water. So the strategy is to actually make docks there to block it. So he has done this just so he can wall off. And he seems pretty well protected. Doesn't look like there's any holes in the wood line. And he's gone for slabs. Now, the way we did the civs was we did the lowest rated player picked first. The highest rated player picked last. So it was Valis and it was Song that got to pick last. But I'm not surprised at all to see Mongols. I think Mongols is one of the best picks. I'm a little surprised that we didn't see Spanish. However, I think this map, it's going to be more difficult to trade with. If it's more difficult to trade, then it makes sense to maybe not have Spanish, as that's a big factor. All right. Yeah, Endurance, I'm with you. I think, hopefully for tomorrow, we can maybe have the uptimes here. But I didn't want too much clutter. I'm going to maybe send them a message about that, as Valis is now allied Soxy and C-Bomb after 114 years of neutrality, excuse me. There's the ecos for you. I think what I'm going to do, and we might not be able to get it done for this event, right? Because this was something, it took so long for us to get all this other stuff sorted and squared. They had to completely add the functionality for the kings and the alerts. That's something that just was not built into the game or their program. But anyways, I think what I am going to do is I would like to have important things like aging up and then maybe certain technologies that I could choose ahead of time, pre-established, to pop up here. Like Paladin, for example, Siege Onager, things of that nature. Now Teal has set yellow to neutral. This neutral stuff is just not good. This neutral stuff is just so not good. But I'm liking the conversation between Valis and C-Bomb now. So it feels like these are the 3. Valis says, "Check your idols, amigo." And C-Bomb thanks him. C-Bomb is going to drop a castle. But you know what's interesting is that Teal said yes when Valis said, "Check your idols, amigo." So it's very possible that Dr. Cosmonaut may believe that Valis was speaking to him. Also, is that a galley? This is ridiculous. He added a galley between the walls. I mean, he's allied to Teal right now, I believe. Let's just double check. No, I guess there's no way to show neutral. We're not expecting players to show neutral at all. My goodness. What about treason? No, treason already is shown, my friend. We already saw treason all day yesterday. We saw a lot of it. Portuguese for the 1800 ELO player. He got to pick second, and he went Portuguese. What is his plan? Again, reminder, there's not a ton of gold on this map. Definitely see water control working if you wanted to go that route. I'm going to go to the overall economy now just to see, to show you guys where everything's at. Asaxi says RHCP and 3TC booming. Does that mean he's listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers right now? At first, I thought he said RHCP is 3TC booming, and I had to figure out who he was talking about. But I believe he's listening to some good old Red Hot Chili Peppers and 3TC booming. That's the life right now. That is the life. We'll see if he ventures over to the other side, though, and attacks Song Song. Song Song, no military buildings whatsoever, but he's got a crazy boom 3TC, so he'll be happy. Also going to Stone for maybe some more action. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of scar tissue in this game. I'm trying to think of all the Red Hot Chili Pepper songs I can at the moment. Stefan apparently declared war, I've been told. What did that say? And we have a pause now. He declared war on the Illusionist. See, the Illusionist has allied some people, so that's what I don't understand. We've got a pause. I'm wondering if I need to see if players are trying to talk to me right now. Let me just tab out. I am the admin after all. I'm not seeing anything. There's no post. There's no communication, so we should be good. But the lack of alliance, this is nuts to me, man. Song Song says 14 sec. Just continuing the hilarious trend of Vietnamese players pausing in tournaments. But he's good, and we now see the 4th TC for Saxy. And okay, we have some communication. So the Illusionist said, let's be allies yellow, and now they're allies. So here's the thing about Illusionist. He plays a lot of team games, and he is a one-trick pony when it comes to his ranked games. But he's not an arena clown. The 1v1 arena games is not his thing. He does a lot of, like, 1v1 migration. So literally, once every 2 months when someone votes in migration to the pool, he one-tricks migration and gets crazy elo. So I don't really know a lot about him. Again, he plays a lot of team games. He does not play a lot of 1v1s. And his name is very fitting. I really think the Illusionist is fun. As Dr. Cosmonaut now allies Song Song. Guys, Song Song hasn't even found the Diplo screen. Like, Song Song is probably like, what are these alerts right now? I don't think this is a good side for Song Song. I mean, he's amazing in 1v1s, but all these players are booming just as well as him. Most of them are anyways. Because, by the way, we have a castle now for C-Bomb. It was at least made it very clear that he wants to be friends with everyone. It is Dr. Cosmonaut that has not accepted that. And it is, of course, then Song Song who has not accepted that. Grant, thank you very much for the new sub, my friend. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Song Song says, Dad gum. One thing I miss with Capture Age is I can't hear the taunts. I wish we could still hear the taunt noises, you know? He's going to get relic number 2, right? Yeah, relic number 2, which isn't bad. Now he's got his king and his queen in here. Again, if you lose the queen, guys, you do not lose the game. It's cool to see the queens here, though. There was actually a map we did many, many years ago where you couldn't create villagers unless your king and queen was inside the TC. It was realistic reproduction. Not so realistic. That would be horrible. But, anyways, we're not doing that here, obviously. Now, what is this? Yes, says Valis. C-Bomb says, where he off to? Did we miss some communication? Very possible we've missed some communication. Maybe a villager or something. Maybe, you know what? There's probably a signal. Yeah, I think C-Bomb... Oh, yeah, I think C-Bomb signaled the monk. My guess is he signaled the monk. And now Valis is... Yeah. C-Bomb says, ask nicely. And Valis says, can I have it? I need it. And C-Bomb says, what's in it for me? C-Bomb, you do have to be careful here. You are 1,500. So you don't want to talk too much smack here. Valis says, we allies forever. I mean, that's a pretty good deal, to be honest. $250 for first, but $150 for second? He says, pinky promise. Valis is probably like, come on, kid. Like, let me get my relic. Let me try hard here. Valis is probably like, pinky promise. I don't even know if that's like a universal known thing, the pinky promise. It's like, what? What about pink? I'm not pink, I'm green. What's he talking about? C-Bomb playing for the people here. Another look at the economies. Soxy is leading. And Valis says yes. It has been signaled by Orange, and Orange says it's yours. Now, it's important to note that Relic Victory is a thing here. And I must have had the amount of relics wrong, because you can see the relics here. It looks like there's more than 5, which I think is good. Relic Victory is going to be really tough to achieve, but it is worth noting that that does happen. Here we've got a dock from Cosmonaut. And Cosmonaut's got a dock with 2 demos in it. And we've got a castle from Stefan as Britons. And Stefan clearly wants to be aggressive. But even though these guys are allied, they do not trust each other. There is so little Diplo in this game. I think this is going to be the game where it's going to be the most aggressive too. So expect big things here early on. Look, Song Song trying to trade right now. But Song Song isn't allied with anyone. You can't trade. Like, I think Song Song knows the idea of trade booming in these types of games, but I don't think he realizes that there's a Diplo screen. So someone did tell me that maybe he had set people to neutral, so maybe I missed that. Holy cow. Okay. George, if you're getting stuttering today, I would say switch, set it to low latency, my friend. It's weird that you'd be getting it today and not other days. I don't think switching browser would necessarily be something you'd want to do, but that's always an option too. Maybe just give it a bit. I don't know. Maybe the action's so fast. It's buffering for you right now. There's so many kills, you know. Also, another thing I should say to people who maybe missed me saying it earlier. Look how smooth it is right now. Capture Age team overnight made changes to make this smoother for us in the later stages, so we don't need to restart the program. Oh yeah, take off low latency. My bad. I'm dumb. C-Bomb hops into his castle. C-Bomb ready to go. Stockpiles are looking pretty decent for players, though of course they're not going to be banking up just yet. You can see the military. It is Stefan with the most military, but there's not a lot out there right now. Now he's up against Berbers, so he's probably going to want to go for like Skirmisher, Haub. I mean, Berbers, you're thinking Camel Archer or you're thinking Cavalier? And there go those demos. Oh, wait. Oh, nope. Demos get pushed away. But it's going to be Longbow Halb, I think, for Stefan, which is truly the best composition for the Britons. I wonder if the red player will go for, like, Fatorias and Water Control. Because you could defend yourself quite easily that way. Oh, my God. Please, Soxy, put your king away, dude. Soxy's booming and has forgotten about the king. Can you imagine? As we got trade cogs, let's go! Song Song Diplo, kind of. Getting that gold income, baby, and that's important. It might look silly. He might only be getting 10 gold a trip, but it does add up. I think you're really going to need trade in the long term here. Also, with that in mind, if you clear out somebody, you can then trade a further distance. At least his king has a shirt on, man. That when I did that video on YouTube describing the settings, I forget what king it was. It was like the Inca king, just had his man tits out. I did not want to see that. I regretted zooming in on that character. Stefan's king ungarrisoned voluntarily, we've been told. And that is, he's going to place it in a tower. Guys, this is really smart thinking from Stefan. Because if you have it in your castle, you will sometimes forget that your king's in there when you're making a unique unit. So it'll be in there with your longbows and trebs, and then you ungarrison your longbows and trebs, and you send your king to the front, which is obviously disastrous. So he doesn't want to make mistakes there. As I think the first real engagement is going to be over here, as we've got camel archers and upgrades coming in for Dr. Cosmonaut. But Stefan, an arena player who doesn't play Age of Empires 1v1s too frequently, but he does love his team games. He's here and ready to go, and he's even going to wall in that, what is now a guard tower. He upgraded it. Not bad. Now, I think Britons generally have some weaknesses with mobility, but attacking flanks isn't going to be too bad. This is where they can shine in this type of a fight. I think Dr. Cosmonaut might need some help. If I were to be honest with you, I think Valis will not have any reason to help him. I don't think he wants to help him. And I think Valis knows Stefan more than Dr. Cosmonaut, too. I think with that in mind, Valis might be okay with letting Teal die. Or maybe even swooping in. It's kind of funny how Stefan made a tower when they started with a tower. Like, there's a tower here, but he's like, nah, the fortified tower isn't good enough. I'm going to research guard tower, which is way worse. C-Bomb says, Valis, you make me nervous with my siege, or with siege on my border. And Valis, rightly so, says, yeah, there's just no space to build, which is very true until you chop through this stuff. The king is now further into the wood line for Soxy, which tells me he noticed it. So I really don't understand that. And guys, he's been going for all the technologies for Ethiopian siege. With Torsen engines, their Scorpions wreck. Their Bombard cannons wreck. Their Siege Onagers wreck. It's expensive, but there's Torsen engines right now. The C-Bomb says, I just want you to know I'm the best friend you could have. And Valis says, Brit is danger. Should kill him first. And Teal says yes. Wow, so I was wrong. So we do actually have a working alliance between Valis and Dr. Cosmonaut. It seems like Gray is with Yellow then as well on this side, but they're not really working together. Gray's just got a few Chukonu, some Siege Rams. And it looks like this Monk... Hey, don't you be looking at the Queen like that. That's, you know, he hasn't seen a woman in like 30 years, so he's surprised. Monk, get out of here, man. Get out of here. Okay, Bombard cannons on the way. Notably, no docks. I feel like more docks with some demo ships would be good here. But Bombard cannons are also good against the trebuchets. So that should be at least one treb down. But the longbows will have similar range to the Bombard cannons, which is the next problem. And you see need help Red here from Gray. As he's building up in Red's base. Red has Bombard cannons and halbs, and that is, I think, against Song Song. Now, again, Song Song is trading, but it's very inefficient trade, and it does take up 20 or 30 of his population right now, which means he doesn't have pop space for as much military. And he says no, having opened with Hussar against Halb, which is just not going to be good for him at all. Zoxy Valis has me nervous. C-Bomb is definitely playing both sides right now, but Teal's in trouble, and I'm curious on if we're going to see any support. There's Siege Onagers inside of the Siege workshops for Valis, but he's not lending a hand here. The C-Bomb says, will you help if he attacks? And that no taunt from Song Song, I believe, is him talking to Red. I do not believe he is responding to C-Bomb by mistake. Portuguese halbs, I think, are the only halbs that lack squires. That's a bold statement, the only civ. Anyways, and hey, Song Song allies, everyone, hey! Oh, God, he picked the wrong time. I think he realized what was up here. No, Song Song, bro. Bro, Song Song, come on, don't die like this. 40 minutes into the game, allies, everyone. A little late for that realization, bud. Holy crap, the Trebs did work there, though. He absolutely blew up my screen here. The Song Song's king is in jeopardy. It is inside of this TC right now, and Illusionist sees it. Illusionist knows it's there. Illusionist wants the 25 bucks. So we'll see who ends up getting it. Obviously, Red has done all the work, and I think Song Song, I mean, he forgot that he had signed up. That was one part of this. He also clearly didn't understand the Diplo screen until it was too late, which is another part of this. Despite being the highest rated player in here and having a lot of skill, I think that he was just not prepared for what was to come. And if he doesn't remember his king is in there, that could be the end for him. Like, when the guy starts attacking you and starts winning and you ally him, he's not gonna regret his choices. It's all about map control here. And there's the king. We'll see who gets it. And oh, I kind of feel bad for Song Song. His last word was help. And it was, as he was saying help, his king was getting shot in the face. Sorry, Song Song. And Valis says who killed him. He's wondering what's going on the other side. So that's $25 for the Illusionist. The Red's going to be like, hey, you know, I could have taken that, but at least that's one down, and now there's 6 others to go. I have some sympathy for him. I also have no sympathy for him at the same time, based on me having to remind him he was playing, and also not realizing for 40 minutes. But let's see. Amigo helps, says Dr. Cosmonaut. Valis says can't do anything, which is not true. You could support here. You could send a lot of stuff. He says make demos, which is a very good idea, but why not you make demos? So here comes Soxy now. So everyone's just going to clear out the what's left of Song Song. And Soxy's coming in with Siege, which looks menacing. And this could actually be the end for Dr. Cosmonaut, too, because his king is still in the tower. Don't tell me he's going to lose his king. Move your king away. Dr. Cosmonaut. Oh, my God. Okay. Again, a sign that maybe some players here weren't completely prepped for the settings today. But Stefan was ready. You're keep in mind that he's teamed up with the illusionist who got the other kill. And right before Teal died, Valis said relax. And he's relaxed, all right. He's relaxed in his grave. We have Valis cutting through the middle right now. He might have actually said relax because Gray noticed him. There may have been a signal there as well, and Valis tried to Onager cut through the middle. It got dealt with, and that was a sneaky move from Valis. He must have been doing that for a while. But he was not able to make it through with mainly Hussars, we should note. Now, what's good for Soxy is he can get these 2 relics. So that's going to be good long-term gold. Plus, he's taking this gold. If I'm red, I would be like, hey, let me have some of this too. But Soxy reaping the rewards here of all the hard work of the other players. And you could also say that Gray reaped the rewards from Red's hard work because he also got the $25 from the King Snipe. Now, let's look at the total bank of resources right now, guys, because I imagine there's a lot. And yes, there's a lot of resources banked. Not as much as we've seen in some of these games because of the lack of trade, but still, lots of golds. C-Bomb says out of gold already. He's not mining it, and he's talking about trade, which is a very important thing to talk about right now. But 71 military, 67, 63 military. You can see the strongest players out there. And this force from Soxy, the Australian 2K1. So again, is informed on everything except protecting his king, which is just so utterly baffling. He's good to go. Valis says, do you have Rams? I believe talking to Soxy right now. C-Bomb says no. Stefan means business here, though. Like, Stefan is an absolute beast. And he is serious. And he's going to be able to get that relic, too. That'll help him, as he's already got 1. You can kill Ethiopians now, says Valis. So Valis is allied with that, with him, and can see it if he's looked around. Or maybe he's just saying you can take out Ethiopians because they don't have anything at home. And C-Bomb says, can't, I'm too nervous. Now remember, C-Bomb has said similar things to Valis and similar things to Soxy about how he wants to be with them forever. These pro players aren't going to stand around playing these games as much as you might see in a community game. This whole can't, I'm nervous, need help thing might not fly with Valis. Valis isn't stupid. And he might realize that he's being taken for a ride here. Now you've got the Chukunu and you've got the Halbs over here. It's interesting, though. It's like he's allied again. No, excuse me. They're still enemies. They're still attacking each other. As we have Hussars from Valis going in for a raid. And okay, Soxy has now put his king inside of his town center, finally realizing that, as I think he made a new lumber camp there. Thing is, Valis doesn't know where that king is. Or he didn't know where the king was until he ran through here. He can now see the king is there. So he's aware. Did you just call community game players stupid? No, I think community game players have a higher level of tolerance for Diplo tricks. Pro players, I mean, as proven by 2 players who didn't ally a lot of people, they're not really down to Diplo as much. Okay, we have the king back inside the castle for Gray. I was wondering why he had done that. And check this out. He's got a villager inside of that tower. So not all the players don't know what's up here. They know how being sneaky matters. What I find interesting right now is that Stefan has not spoken to Valis, and he's made it clear that he's going to continue this push. Valis also not allied to Gray. So we've got kind of a 3v3 right now, if you think about it. We've got yellow, gray, and red against green, orange, and blue. And C-Bomb says, Gray research treason? Tell me where Valis' king is? Oh my god. I was not expecting him to shake it up this early. I did say to my mods, so we had 48 signups, and it was really cool because we had like 42 all high-level players. We had like 6 that were solid players that had played in my community games that were about 15 to 1,600, right? And so I said to my mods, I'm like, what I think's going to happen is I think we're going to have 2 3v3s form, and the only players that are going to break that are going to be the community game players. But Gray has not responded to that request. So we'll see. And here comes Red. I mean, clearly working with the Illusionist, as they're trying to move through here, and I feel like it's not going to last if the Siege Onagers are here, and the Siege Onagers are going to start mopping up units. I understand C-Bomb's idea here, but I actually think he needs to fight alongside Valis right now. Because if he kills Valis, it is then going to be 3v2 versus him and Blue, and that will not work well for them. So I think there's a time to backstab, and there's a time to help, and here you help. Anyways, they're talking about trade, which they may or may not do. I mean, Soxy could clear out the wood lines and make for pretty good trade. But when you've got Trebs with Warwolf, you've got Longbows, and you've got Halbs coming in towards green, plus you've got everything else, it definitely is a time to possibly send some help. Or he's going to call you out on it, too. We'll see. Looks like a market there. And a market. Oh, that's a siege workshop. Excuse me. Now, there are demos inside of that dock. That dock will be trebs down, though. Demos here were a really good idea from Valis. Unfortunately for Teal, he just didn't hear about it in time. You can see bombard towers now being made in the middle. They will eventually be made, excuse me. And that will just make it more awkward for units to move through. We have a gate now for Valis, which makes it more awkward for Gray to move through. Interesting. I haven't seen champion tech. You have to believe that Valis has it just in case. And he's adding more docks now. And oh boy, he's going to go fire ships and galleons here on the water. We have no trade between Gray and Red. I'm looking at Red. Red does have a Fatoria though, guys. Remember, Red's 1800 elo. And on a map where there's not a lot of golds, he decided to pick Portuguese. He was the second pick. He chose Portuguese over all these other civs. And Soxy with a good call here. He says, I think it's time we attack red and green, C-Bomb. I'm pretty sure he meant to say gray. He says, before they wipe out green. Yes. If green is wiped out, it is bad for the Australians. Where is that king? King is on the move now for Valis, as he will run the safe area. He's going to dive in here with the Hussars, guys. And he completely surrounds the Longbows. Which is kind of funny because the demo is on the way and wouldn't even be able to hit. So anyways, the Siege Onagers are on the way. For some reason, the green stopped attacking here. And now Gray, no surprise, has opened up a war against Blue. So we do have that 3v3. It does come down to if the 1600 player is going to stick with that. I think Valis might have had him set on ally or something, or his units were not attacking for some other reason. I don't get that. But here comes some fast fires, and here comes some demos to help out. But he is being attacked from both sides here, guys. He's being attacked from both sides. And, you know, it might benefit C-Bomb to not do anything, to let him die. But I personally feel like he should not let him die there. Look at the approach from Soxy. He's fully walled in his town centers, making it hard to guess where that king might be. But the Mangadai are heading over to help Soxy, but not to help Valis. If I were Valis, I would be calling him out at the moment. But maybe he's passing this info along, and he is communicating. He says, Blue and I are going to hit red and gray at the top. Honestly, I think it's possible for red to hold this if he has enough bombard cannons. With castles and bombard cannons, he can hold this. Portuguese bombard cannons are no joke. And he's sniping all these scorpions now. Mangadai, of course, have bonuses against siege, but if the bomber cannons sit back behind castles and the castles stay up, then this could work out. And here comes C-Bomb. He is going to make his move, as Valis is holding only verse 1 now, right? Because Gray, I don't think, will push here much longer. It's very hard for Britons to push. It's very hard for Britons to be pushed. That's the way we always talk about it. As the king is actually in a position where I feel it's good for now, but possibly bad for later for Valis. But he wanted to keep it protected somehow. Mangadai, probably the best unit for community games. Mongols, probably the best Civ. I would personally pick Mongols if I had the option. C-Bomb had the first pick. Makes sense. And, you know, I'm not seeing a lot of support from Gray beyond just skirms and halbs. And again, what else can you really do? The red says, let's kill 11. And Valis now turns on Stefan and now turns on red. I thought he already had turned on them, but maybe he had them on neutral. Ah, that's why they didn't attack properly, because he had them on neutral, and he just figured that out. C-Bomb says, I still don't trust Valis. It makes sense if he feels like he's going to work with his Australian pal, that they wouldn't have a lot of trust there. Also, did you see that cannonball shot? That was like, I don't know what happened there. I'm not seeing any trade here. Ironically, the only player that really traded was Song Song, and he was the first to die. And, oh, the Mangadai hop in for the bombard cannons! Oh, geez, he killed so many bombard cannons. Also lost a lot of Mangadai, but still. It seems like a better two-player army is fighting here for the Australians. That said, I don't think that Stefan is going to have a very good time here. I think Hussar, Halb, Siege Onager is a very strong comp. And with no fortifications like castles, I could see this army getting caught out and all the buildings going down. And Valis' King Refuge is under attack. And Stefan made it back here with Light Cav, guys. He must have researched treason to see it was back there. Thankfully, Murder Holes is in, and that king will survive there. Meanwhile, some Trebs went down. Meanwhile, the fight continues over here, but there's not any Mangadai anymore. So, does C-Bomb have trade? He does actually have trade, so he's working with some trade behind this. He's done the right things, I think, to secure allies on either side and then get the trade flowing, which the other players were too impatient to do. Stefan, no trade still? I mean, could do that, and Valis has help. Valis is concerned. Kind of tricky, though, right? Because it's a 1v1 on that side. So I guess the only thing that he could really receive some help with would be maybe some Siege Onagers, but he's already got Siege Onagers. I know heavy Scorpion for Valis. You know, I guess you're right that Scorpions might seem strong here, but I don't actually think they're that good against Longbows. I would have preferred to see him mix in more Siege Rams, personally. How many Fatorias for red? Okay, he's got 2. Now, what that does is it takes up 20 pop space from you, but it gives you a trickle of all resources. So over time, it definitely does pay off. And that resource includes stone, and as he's making the bombard towers now. Yeah, the Halbs... So, like, the Halbs aren't that big of a concern if you get big Siege Onager shots anyways. But I could see an argument for maybe mixing in a few Scorpions. I mean, your Halbs are better than Britain Halbs, so you can always just trade better against that. He needed more Rams, I think, before he ever makes a push. Guys, I'm not seeing a lot. Okay, this is why. Gray somehow had snuck up buildings here. And that was sneaky from the Illusionist, my goodness. I was going to say, I wasn't seeing a lot from Orange, and this is why. He wanted to deal with this. Okay. Oh, keep a hold of your siege, my friends. And continue to push forward here is kind of the goal. For Stefan, I mean, with this space, he could trade so well in the long term. But how is he going to be able to push this? See, this is what Siege Rams do. Siege Rams soak up the fire. The problem is the Siege Rams moved forward too early. If the Siege Rams are there with the Hussars and with the Siege Onagers, it's different. Also, I realize the stutter is kind of returning a little bit. Maybe earlier than we would have wanted here. I can restart the program, which would make it a little better. I don't want to do that just yet because it has some important stats we want to keep, but might end up just accepting that we have to do that as the bombard towers go down. Yeah, in fact, I think I'm just going to do that now. We can always look at the final stats later. It will still have the resources. I think I'm just going to do that now. Just to make, you know, in the off chance it makes it a little smoother, I think it's better. Just do a quick little restart. Yo, Otto, what's up, man? Welcome, welcome. Also, thank you, Lynn, very much for the stars. Let's keep this going here. Gotta open this up. Yeah, it's not too bad, but it's enough to bother me a little bit. So for that reason, we're just gonna keep an eye on it. The only thing we don't see is who sniped this now. That information isn't there. But if it does lead to a smoother experience right now, it'll be okay. Push continues. It feels like 1 or 2 SO shots here is just going to be so juicy. But the problem is the Portuguese bombard cannons. Because the Portuguese bombard cannons just don't miss. Now, I'm loving the Hussar right now. Like, yes, of course, there's Halbs for red. But I'm loving this. A little bit of raids, a little bit of mobility. You also can just toss them away without having to worry about losing them, like Mangadai. And man, this push from Stefan, man. This is Britain's for you. Valis keeping his siege back, though. He is going to find these 2 Trebs on the right are exposed. He's going to go in for them. And now look what the Rams do. They soak up the arrow fire. And oh, Stefan, he has to run away. And he has to use his longbows to micro down the siege onagers. See, this is what he was missing. He was missing some siege rams. Great job from Valis. He'll be a little upset he didn't take out that Treb, but it already took out the castle, so whatever. And now you've got these longbows looking with 12 range to snipe siege onagers, which they can do, but you then need an answer for the Rams as well. So he's going to have to back away. Again, Britain's hard to push with and hard to push. These fights are insane. I love it. These fights are insane, guys. But C-Bomb is the only one who is trading right now. And you can see he's leading in the gold workers. Second place is 0 for everyone else. Except Red, who's at 1800. So the 2 lowest elo players in this game are thinking about the more long-term things. I think it's a very important thing to remember here. Wait, did it store the total kills, or did Blue get 200 kills since we restored this? I don't know, but it does have some of the data here for you. We have 2 players gone. Heavy demo! Boom! Yeah, baby! Let's go! Massive shots on either side. Loved to see the heavy demos there. Chinese demos also have more HP, too, so it's not too shabby. These are some crazy fights. I'm loving this right now. Siege onagers going down. Bomber cannons going down. Everything that goes out there dies right now. Including the Hussars, including some of the longbows. Look at the spot that Stefan found for himself. What I love is, though, he has so many production buildings here. So he can just camp it out a little bit. And he also walled behind this unless there's a hole that I'm missing. I don't think there's a hole. Oh, there could be a hole over here, actually. I like this from Valis. He also could run through the gate. He's waiting for the longbow to open it. Oh, what a beastly play. What a beastly play. In the moment, guys. In the moment. Fighting all of this. I don't know how much pressure he's feeling because he plays tourneys all the time now. But there could always be that nerve factor. And Gray and Red are getting smashed by the siege onagers, but still doesn't feel like there's any siege rams or anything to really mop up these buildings after this. And, oh, man, if I'm Stefan, I'm so upset with myself right now. That has got to be frustrating. That has got to be frustrating. Your whole wood line's going to get hit. He's going to lose a lot of vills, most likely. I'll go to his economy. You can see his eco stats, 108. We also have a siege ram raid here, and that's surprising. C-Bomb actually took out a Fatoria and almost took out the next one, too, so that was smart. So it feels like right now, as Stefan did lose about 20 so villagers, it feels like this 3v3 is going to have to end at some point. And when the 3v3 ends is when we could see the diplomacy change. But these players, they came from all over the world. They were assigned their game. They didn't know who they were playing with until like 2 days ago. And they figured it out. Whether it's been easy, I don't know. But they figured it out and they found friends. And this is good from Red. I think he needs to even consider walling this, because this exposed area is going to be a continuous headache for him. I think Blue has made some grounds here as well, but again, no siege to actually push these bombard towers and these buildings. You can see the siege rams doing their thing now, also taking out the buildings, which is what they're designed for. And a king update, I really think this is something that Valis might regret later. Like, this is what I see. If Valis continues to push Stefan, and the Aussies pushing the other side, the team of Soxy, C-Bomb, and Valis will win their 3v3, and there's a certain bomb out there that is going to explode right here in Valis' base if he does not move this. Now, whether or not he's thinking about that now, I don't know. But as still more villagers are going down right now for Stefan, and he's down to 93 and losing more. In particular, he really needs wood, right? Guess he's got some here. I could see this being a long-term issue, especially since there's trade there now. Like, if he signals, then it's like, hey, look here, I'm going to trade with this. And who knows how that'll be. Well, I'm pumped. I am very pumped. This is the first game. Yes, Jackley's welcome. This is the first game. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that. Did I have that timeline thing at the bottom up for, like, the last 20 minutes? I'm sorry. I completely forgot it was there. User error. But yes, this is day 2, but the first day of Pro Day, and this is the first game of 3, and then we'll have 3 more games tomorrow. Big shots, though. Big shots on the skirms. And you're seeing a lot of trash units right now. You're not seeing a lot of gold units. Something tells me that the players with trade are going to be able to have the gold in the long term. Now, I think what Valis is going to do now is I think he's going to sit back and he's going to use what little gold he has to trade. It wouldn't surprise me if I put the events of buy and selling back on. Yeah, so he's selling what he can because he's at the limit for resources to get gold and immediately investing that into some trade. So he kind of needs to lose some pop right now or delete some stuff. I don't know. He needs to do that in order to have the pop space for that trade. But you can see a lot of players doing that. That's why I actually have that off, because it would be a pain. But this is an awesome game. We are 1 hour and 20 minutes in game time. We've had tons of kills. You can see that stockpile's here, okay? So it shows the top 3 of every single stockpile and workers. It might be confusing, but I really like this, actually. Still allows me to select armies, show the data there. But Red, you know, he sorted out his issue here. So he's closed that up with some buildings. He's now adding a bombard tower. And it kind of feels like Red and Gray have pushed a little bit. I mean, a little bit. Still no trade, though. Also, wait a second. Oh, I got confused for a second. My brain forgot that Gray and Red are allied. And so the castle position with the siege workshops next to it had me all confused. Still, I prefer Ethiopians and Mongols over Portuguese and Chinese. I really do. Alright, so I saw Yellow ran down here with Light Cav. I don't think he accomplished much with it, but he might have noticed the trade. Well, we haven't seen a lot of conversation. I'm going to go look at the overall queue. C-Bomb doesn't have that much gold floating. Stefan does, though. And C-Bomb says need to take out the Feitoria. That's definitely a good move. But you've got to stay away from the water here because the demos could come in. Someone had mentioned, did C-Bomb get Thumb Ring? It kind of feels to me like he is missing that upgrade. I feel like his units should be firing faster and they are elite Mangadai. But no way for me to check that right now. Now, I think what Valis did earlier was a really smart play to cut through. But I think it'd be good for him now to cut through towards Stefan. He doesn't need to hit Gray. He doesn't benefit from hitting Gray right now. But if he could cut through and hit Stefan, that would help him. Because mobility against Britons is really what you want. Just players with so much respect for each other in these armies right now. Just really don't want to overextend. And these halves, like these pointy boys, are going to get chewed up. Speaking of getting chewed up, we've got Rams from Ethiopians and Rams from Mongols, and they've made very quick work of the barracks. And this seems like a convincing moment in this push. Again, behind this are the Feitorias. You have Gray now saying they have trade. Red is saying yes. And it's very late to think about your own trade right now. If you didn't invest to it already, you probably should be killing before their trade kicks in. And if you're not doing that, could be a sign that maybe it was the wrong approach from you here. I mean, red going for Fatorias, I do feel is good, but it also would have been wise for him to probably trade with gray, right? Never felt like there was a whole lot of trust between yellow and gray here. They're working on the same team for now, but there's no... They haven't opened their borders to each other. They're not trading with each other. More like they have a mutual fear of each other. That is not a king, by the way. It kind of looks like it could be one. That is just a couple of villagers in there. But red has lost a lot. Red has lost a lot here. Check the total kills for the Longbows. Actually, good thing to ask. 165 for this group of Longbows. Keep in mind that data might have actually reset when I reset Capture Age. So, lots of kills for this group. Siege Onagers have 33 by comparison. The Longbows holding their own, but on this side, I mean, yes, some demos are going to come out. But the Rams are continuing to push in towards red. He's going to lose access to his back wood, too. It really doesn't feel like this is boding well for red and gray. Which should mean this is going to go to a situation where Stefan is going to be on his own. And the cut has come through. The cut has come through for Valis. He cut through in the exact area I'd mentioned earlier as Stefan tried to wall it up too. But they made it in. Now Stefan's distracted. And now Valis is going to push the middle. Which is the perfect play here. You distract in one area. They have to address it. And then hopefully they'll make a mistake. And you can see Stefan notices this. It's still so good from Stefan. I mean, isn't it so satisfying to see Longbows like this? This is incredible. Also, that's a bug. That's Stefan's point of view. He can, like, see a barracks where there isn't one. That's kind of funny. Actually, that must be a refresh of the Capture Age issue, because he can also see wood lines, too, so we can't completely trust what we see here. Doxy's saying, push, man. Go for the push. I'd love to see C-Bomb just snipe the bomber cannons. Yeah, just get rid of those bomber cannons. If you get rid of the bomber cannons, you can kill everything else. Well, guys, remember, Song needed a friend. And Gray and Red, they took that chance away from him. They killed him. They could have had Song on their team, a very good player. They took the snipe. And then you had Cosmonaut, also killed by Stefan. So if you think about the way this 3v3 is situated, one team has already destroyed players. The other team hasn't really done that. Though they might have, of course, if the opportunity was there. Red is really, really struggling. And someone's saying he's playing great if he's one of the low elo guys. Well, he's 1800. 1800 is still like top 1,000 in the world. But it's not close to the top 100. As the other players are 2100 plus. Except for C-Bomb, who's 1600, who I also have to say is playing very good. But again, I think he diploed good, and you could also say that maybe he got a little fortunate to be next to an Aussie player. Because it's the only two Aussie players. Positioning obviously plays its role, if they know that going into it. Okay. I mean, the Longbows are just sniping their counter from distance, but oh, he sees it! Oh, God, that's got to be so frustrating for Valis. Longbows are a crazy unit, man. But, you know, again, Valis is able to take out a lot of units, and he now has trade, guys. So, I think what's good for Valis, actually, is if Gray and Red can hold on for a little bit longer. Because when Gray and Red are out, Stefan will then be 3v1'd, most likely. Or, at the very least, that's when C-Bomb actually decides to turn on Valis. So the longer... It feels weird to say, but the longer the other team holds, the better it is for the Finnish player, Valis. Oh! Oh, a big shot on the Longbows. That was sick. Unfortunately, there's still such a large mass of them. But that was a beautiful shot. Well done there from Valis. He was actually using the Hussars as the distraction there. C-Bomb has researched treason. Okay, there is a treason alert. That was... pretty costly, but it does tell you where the kings are, so he might go in for those kings. And Red is abandoning his area now. Red's population can't be good right now. Now, if you're Red and you realize Gray's going to go down anyways, you could try and get 25 bucks and just kill Gray. He'd probably be very upset with you, but I'm just saying, He's asking for food right now. I'm not sure if he's receiving it. I can actually look. Looks like Illusionist has just sent him some food. I'll keep that up for now, actually, as this 1v1 continues. But there we go. Valis is now making production buildings, and he's not going to have an issue when he loses gold units now. Whereas for Stefan, he doesn't have trade. He's trying to add the markets now, but I think it will be too late. Okay, I have a prediction here. I have a really bold and forward prediction on how this is going to go. This is what I think will happen. Red is crumbling. Gray will follow. Valis is going to get turned on it, and everything's going to start falling apart. And I think there's a chance, if Stefan isn't completely dead when that happens, that Stefan says to Valis, why don't we fight together, my friend? Why don't we lay down our arms, or no, pick them back up and fight against the enemy, the real enemy, the Aussies on the other side. That's my prediction right now. I could be way off base on that, but it feels like in terms of game flow, that could be what goes down here. Okay, they're adding markets, new markets. The further away your trade is, the more gold you get. Yes, when I said Valis is going to get turned on, I did not mean sexually, okay? I mean, he can live his life, all right? If getting attacked really turns him on, then that's great. But that's not what I meant, okay? How I say things is more important than the actual words, all right? People. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen any demos or any Navy from Blue and Orange over here. I would have liked to have seen that, you know, just to get in here with some galleons, but they're still making progress here. And still, big fights continue. But, you know, you fight for an hour and a half against one player, and you lose thousands of men. You really aren't going to be inclined to ally that player. So, I mean, my prediction was super bold, like I said. But I believe the way this is going to go is, because of Valis' reputation and the fact that C-Bomb and Soxy have had earlier conversations, I do believe that eventually, if it comes down to just orange, green, and blue, that green is going to be the one that gets doubled. You missed a big demo on 10 plus Halbs. If I miss a demo on Halbs, I'm probably also missing Siege Onager shots on Hussars and Halbs. There's a lot of stuff to miss right now. There's a lot of action. There's been so many kills. I'm loving it. Just loving how every fight has been insane. And it's continuous action, too. Like, a very big difference from our community day, where there's a lot more breaks in between. I think the map here as well has kind of brought it to be that type of game. Very aggressive map. Longbows, though. I mean, how do you kill the longbows? So many longbows. Let's look at the overall stockpiles, though. Stefan somehow has 5k gold. Stefan's honestly a beast. He's not trading with anyone who's safe, though. Like, I think he's going to try and trade with Gray. Is player 8 and player 2 trading, says Red? Red, you're player 2, though. You're player 2. That's the 2 next to your name. I don't think it's a very wise thing to say. You might want to correct that. Oh, man. Oh! Oh, a big shot. And another? No, okay, that's still decent. Surprise, surprise. Anyways, Valis has fallen back. But again, he is trading. I think we're going to see Stefan trade as well for the time being. Yeah, Stefan did have relics. He's got 2 relics. And he also, I guess if he hasn't spent a lot of gold because he's just kept his longbows alive. So he's got the most. The second most is Cosmonaut, who's dead. I wish we could remove that. And then third most is Song Song, who's also dead. So that should tell you how little gold people have banked. But in terms of gold workers, it is 64, 49, and then 47. Gold workers 47, though? Wait, what? Is he mining gold somewhere? What? How does he have... Oh, that's woodworkers. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. Food workers, he doesn't have gold workers. I looked at the wrong category. So 25, 24. So C-Bomb only has 1 more trade than Valis does. And then it's 3 for Illusionist right now. And Red just randomly allies himself with Stefan, which is obviously important here. Kind of surprising they didn't have that established already. Stefan hasn't accepted it either. Okay, so Red's king has now left his castle. There it goes. It's leaving. He feels the writing is on the wall. He's starting to slowly lose his base and has been for a while. Gray could snipe that king, but I think having Red in this game, even if he's an easy snipe, is going to be better for Gray. He is making a lot of halbs here. It is something. Does it work well? Not really, but it is something. This crazy fight continues, but Gray is adding a lot of trade here. You can see it in the gold workers. So he continues to add a lot of trade, and I'm going to keep it on this for the time being so you can see everything. And Red is now in Gray's tower. So that's interesting. They're still holding this. And I'd say my concern for Soxy and my concern for C-Bomb is, well, in particular Soxy, is why aren't you adding more trade? C-Bomb has some trade, but Soxy hasn't added any trade. That could always hurt him. Ethiopians without gold? Ew, really, really not good. That's really not good. They've got halbs, they've got skirms, their horse units suck. Especially in Diplo, you're going to want some siege out there. So Val has kind of corrected that on his side. He's been adding that trade. So he's got that trade flow in. And what just exploded there? Is that a petard? Did he make a petard by mistake? I have no clue. They haven't finished Red off yet. We have had so many kills in this game. Such a big contrast between this and the community day. Just fighting, fighting, fighting. I think we'll see a lot of the pre-established teams based on positions nonsense over today and tomorrow. And there is a petard for yellow, so he must have accidentally produced petards. Actually, he's in the trade right now. Oh, if Alas doesn't notice this. Oh, his trade's going down. Stefan might also be making petards for that king. I like how the king and queen are in there together. I feel a little bad that the players weren't told about the queen. I didn't know. I think it's part of the map. But, like, they might think that they need to keep the queens alive. That is not the case. If queens die, it does not matter. Sorry, queens. Well, here come the hussars. We've now got rams, and we've seen this before. The difference is, though, is that Valis has had an influx of gold income. What he doesn't know, though, is that his trade was being raided. And no way, dude. No way. Can you imagine if there was no murder holes and Valis died to this? I think that's what Stefan is hoping for. He's hoping murder holes wasn't researched, but it was researched. So these longbows will die before the tower goes down. Missed some trebs going down. Big moment there. The longbows falling back. That's the most important thing, though. Keep those longbows alive. Over here, Red trying to get halbs regrouped. He's lost his castle. If I'm Soxy, I'm using all my gold to put it into trade right now. I'm not making any more siege onagers. You're winning already. You're wondering about these longbows? No way! This might actually work! He comes in with light cav. How did he get light cav in here? Stefan out of nowhere. No way. And I think Valis has just noticed this now. He's sending over hussars and he's trying to repair with what he can. He's sending more villagers to repair with what he can. Don't tell me it ends like this for Valis. I did mention before how big of a mistake it would be. He needs to eject villagers from this to repair. I think, though, he is going to get away with this one. And he'll be able to learn his lesson, guys. He will actually save this, just barely. Holy crap. And yes, the queen does take out pop space, if that's what you're wondering. Obviously, Valis, when he was panicking, is losing his siege now. Get that king into a castle, my friend. Do not put that in a tower. Surely he's going to fix that soon. And we'll see. We'll get an alert from Capture H when that happens. The queens are like the points on Who's Line. Yeah, it's so true. Man, I've been watching Who's Line a lot recently. That's a funny reference. I'm happy to see that. Oh, speedy Mongol siege onager. It's going for the Chukonu. Gray sees this too. He's worried about it. He's got the fire ships. This is a funny little game. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Oh, and big shot. Oh, he gets him. Yeah, he gets him. Again, this game's going to shift once one of these players dies. And red is soon dead. Second that happens, gray's going to die. Not the second that happens, but soon after that happens, he's going to die. Your solution is more towers, bro? Okay, Siri, you can shut up. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. My watch started talking to me. Shoot, what was I talking about? Besides Siri being stupid. Oh, the fact that he's making towers there. Feels very weird to corner your king and put them in towers. I would say keep it in the middle of your base and keep it in the castle. Wow, that's a lot of hussars. There's obviously a lot of halbs in there too, but look at this. You've got the champion buffer. The longbows don't want to stop right now. Because if they stop, the siege onagers could hit them. And the longbows are now running away. I feel like this is worth it for Valis because he will kill some longbows. And if he could just get one big volley off. He's trying to block these things. No, he can't. He definitely can't get a shot off here. Oh, he might be able to. They'll group up in the gate. Oh, man. Such good micro from Stefan. This is why longbows are such a popular unit. Red just asked for resources so he could make pikes, though. That's not a good sign. Gray has had trade, but, like, so my issue with Chinese guys is that they can do a lot of things well, but they don't stand out like all these other civs. Like, they don't have Mangadai, for example. They don't have Torsen engines. They don't have Siege Onager at all. Britons don't have Siege Onager. Britons don't have the best of options either, but Britons have solid infantry and amazing archers. Chinese, it's just like, okay, good of everything, but it's like kind of generic at this stage in post-im. And you're not utilizing any specific bonuses with Chinese, really. You see that castle go down for Gray. And this is where I think we're going to see C-Bomb start to talk to Soxy about making a move on Valis. I genuinely believe that will be the case. It seems crazy, but, like, maybe after they kill Red. Maybe after they're finished with the job. I think it makes sense. Okay, C-Bomb researches trees in there to find out the position of the kings. And you know what, guys? I am actually going to do a quick restart again. I hope this isn't a big deal for you guys. I know it kind of ruins the flow, but it just takes a second, and it gets smoother for us, so why not? All the important data in terms of what's happening right now is still there, so we'll just do it. Love this program. It's going to be improved. We're going to work on this and hopefully, continue to add things to it. But if it makes it smoother, let's just do it. And if it's bothering me more than it's bothering you, then that's a good sign. But there we go. We're back in business. Back into the game. Yeah, it doesn't change any of the data we need, so let's just continue doing that if we need to. But you know what? You know what would be happening a lot more if it was a community game? Is I think we'd be having chatting between green... between yellow and between gray and between red right now. And there might even be someone out there who'd, like, shout out to everyone and say, hey, you're killing us, so what's going to happen within your group after we're dead? You want to sow that seed of doubt in the enemy's minds, and so they might turn on each other. Like, I mean, they're playing at such a high level and with such speed that it's tough for them to do that. But I do feel as though that would be a really wise move for the team that's losing this. Okay, you're kidding me. Look at this from Stefan. Can he actually get away with this? Do you see this? I think he wants to walk around the wood line. Oh my. Oh my. What the heck? What? Stefan's a god, dude. He's a god. I'm looking at this like it would never be possible for him to make it around. But, but guys, he's made it around. Now, he has found stone walls this time. Or more specifically, fortified walls this time. So he's probably going to be like, ah, crap. But that's still incredible, man. It takes 3 petards to take out a fortified wall, though. So he wouldn't be able to take out the tower as well. And green, if he pays attention, can see this. Obviously, he's focused on this big battle on the front. I loved how these players have played this game so far. Red seems to be enjoying himself, by the way. He was really happy and joyful in Discord this morning. I'm happy to see that he signed up. I know he's got a lot of motivated teammates right now playing this combi team. A lot of... forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's a lot of Mexican players. I know he is, and I know most of them are. It might be from other countries as well. But anyways, a big motivated group of Age of Empires. Good to see such variety playing here today. And big push coming soon is what Orange just said. And they're going to go for that big push here with these siege rams. And this could really finish off the game. I think with 1 or 2 siege onager shots plus the siege rams, they could do it. Petards, forgive me, but I think they died. They were never going to do anything there, which is why I looked away. And seems like green notices what's happening here. And he's making a push against Stefan. So again, like, if orange were to turn on green now, I think green would immediately go to yellow and say, hey, yellow, let's ally now. You have a friend in me forever. We're going to kill the backstabbers. But it's the timing that's important on that. Obviously, if it wouldn't make sense for orange to turn now because they haven't finished off these other players. So and I could be wrong, too. Like, maybe C-Bomb, he lives in Australia, but he's not very patriotic. He doesn't love his other Australians. He hates them. So maybe he'll kill Soxy. Hopefully not, you know. But just saying. We're assuming an awful lot. It's very hard to actually know. So at least Valis has fortified this with multiple towers now. It's still obvious. He's still stuck, but at least he's fortified that. I love how this is actually turned into trade. We see the trade for yellow. We see the trade for gray. But they're not getting much gold for trip here. They're getting 46 gold per trip versus 56. It's actually not as big a difference as I expected, so I'm wrong. What about Valis? He's probably getting more. He's getting 100. Yo! Wow, that's really good then. Soxy is worked up to 29 trade. You can see that with the gold workers. And this is where possibly the final push comes in. C-Bomb says ready. Soxy says yes, and they're going to make their move. Yeah, this 3v3 feels very set in stone, and it feels like the Soxy, C-Bomb, Valis team is winning on all sides now. Stefan has done what he could to try and get snipes. I give him credit for that. He almost got away with them. But now, as this castle falls, as he doesn't have the forward production, as it's all forward production for Valis, as Valis has better trade established, you have to expect that this is trouble for Stefan. We know this is also trouble for the others. You've got red, he's sitting in gray's tower. We've got gray, and he's sitting in the castle right next to all this action. Now, what they really needed here was a siege onager shot on the Chukunu, because elite Chukunu are actually great against siege. So they needed a siege onager shot. And look at the micro there from Soxy against Portuguese bombard cannons. He'll lose it, though. Oh, he won't lose it. Well, not yet, anyways. Yeah, there he goes. He gets the shot off. That's a good shot. Kudos to red and gray for still holding on. I don't know how they're doing it. But I think that Stefan is going to fall apart pretty quickly here. You look at his eco pop. He's got 62 vills. You look at his... Oh, no, that's 64 military, excuse me. Economically, he's at 112. So he's at 170 pop. It's not bad. But his stockpile, only 400 gold in the bank. And I think if both of these civs have unlimited gold, I still would prefer Slavs because of the siege. That siege can pack a much bigger punch for the Slavs. Mangadai thought about getting the bombard cannon, C-Bomb being a little cute, but guys, we have our community gamer, C-Bomb, at top score right now, which is a pretty crazy thought. Well done to him. This is a crazy game as we just crossed the 2-hour mark. So the next game is scheduled to be in 1 hour, and that game is going to be with another stack of high-level players. And it's just, action's going to continue all day, folks. So thanks for being here. It's really, obviously, you know, to stream it, organize it, put money up for it, stuff like that. It's motivating to have people show up and actually watch. So thank you. I really wonder what would have happened if, like you think back in these moments to what would have happened if yellow would have allied teal, right? And like, if it was Berbers and Britons against Slavs, then I think Valis is never able to have this much success. But he's been able to win the 1v1. Song Sung, I think, didn't do himself as many favors, not allying people until seconds before he died. But, you know, just things to think about. So many different things add up for the long term of Diplo Age of Empires. See that tower get denied. And yeah, this is classic Britons. They're going to be able to sit back for a while longer. But no! The Longbows get flattened, baby. Let's go. Of course, oh no! Another shot! Oh god! It was a TC shot. You can actually fire above max range if you click a farm or a TC, because it always attacks the middle of it. And Stefan, his king, moves castles now. It is in here with his queen. Again, I think these players didn't know that the queen didn't matter. They were worried about that. So, it's cool to see the king and queen together. Yeah, you can see now this push just continues and continues and continues. It should be close to the end. We've been saying that for a while. I really don't think that this is a good position to have for your king if you're up against the Mongols, who can do so much. And there's tons of siege onagers there for Orange, like he's waiting for the opportunity. Gray's king is getting antsy now, so he's moved into the same tower as Red's king. Remember, $25 per king snipe, but $250 for first, $150 for second, and $100, I think, for third. I actually forgot already. I'm sorry. They're role-playing as a royal family. All right, well, apparently not the case for Red and for Gray, because their queens are long gone and have been. But again, it's fascinating. Like, there's no chatting here from Gray or from Red to try and convince Blue and Orange to let them live. There's no chatting whatsoever. I just don't think that's... They feel like that would work. And truthfully, it might not work. You have a lot more of that in our community game days. Like, the communication eventually sorted itself out here after the early stages, but it was a little rough around the edges, right? See, Hussar's getting in. He's only focusing on Stefan, though. Really just wants to finish off Stefan. Yeah, so Valis is 2 layers of walls, but Siege Onagers cut the trees, and Siege Onagers can take out towers super easily. Not to mention Siege Ram takes this out super easily. So I would say have it in your base next to all your buildings, so when the time comes, at least you have the buildings close by. But what do I know? We'll see if it matters. Obviously, the sooner he kills Stefan, the better for him. If he kills Stefan before Blue and Orange can kill Red and Gray, then he could be the one to take initiative. And then this gets spicy. If he even wants to do that. I don't know where his allegiances lie, really. But I do remember what C-Bomb and Soxy said. They said an Aussie must win this. Those are the only 2 Aussies in the game. They've been trading together all game. They're next-door neighbors. They've formed quite a partnership. Okay, Chukunu still holding, refusing to quit. Lack of bomber cannons is hurting, but Blue's sending some of those forward now. Red also camping with his own bomber cannons, so they're really not giving it up here. These are some epic fights, though. Maybe some Trebs would be good. Oh, man, this looks so brutal right now. Look at the amount of green dots around. Valis is everywhere. And, you know, you look back over here now. I'll look at the total military. It's 80 for Stefan. His economy's still at 111. How, though? This guy continues to create more vills. He took the 33 taunt a little too seriously here. As expected, this castle's close to falling. It still has not gone down. It really is just Gray and Red not wanting to die here. Holding on by a thread. And you have more buildings being pushed in an all-out battle at a high level. That's what it becomes about. And let's go to the resources now of all the players. You can see that bottom left. We finally arrived to a point where players are actually banking lots of res. Soxy has 49 trade. Stefan's got 58 trade. So he's actually been able to get decent amounts of gold from that. But I still think that he's running out of space. That is why his population is so high, by the way. I have to assume that the economy here includes the trade, which is now makes more sense. So that means he's got like 50 vills, and he's got the 50 or 60 trade. So that is probably why it didn't feel like he had 110 villagers, and we see that stat there. Man, dude, look at these machine gun Chukonu. That was like 12 siege rams. Holy, the castle still stands. Telling you the temptation's got to be real right now for the team that feels as though they're winning. Also, Red has set his gather point for his barracks here. What the crap is happening here? What the... He probably doesn't realize that. He's probably just queuing up halbs and setting a gather point and not realizing they're just passing. I think Blue realizes that now, and he's like, well, I guess I'll just take out these buildings. You guys have probably all been there as well. Look at the value destroyed stat. 210,000 value versus 205,000 value for Valis and Stefan. It's been so even. Like, these guys have been incredible to watch. This is amazing Age of Empires. And I think, guys, I honestly think, like, Stefan needs to try and talk up Orange or someone. Like, he won't do it, but how sick would that be if he starts to tempt someone to go after green and then maybe he survives? Red is going against Stefan. Wait, what? Red is now clearing up the trade. He's like, my trade isn't very efficient right now with you, so I'm going to kill your trade carts. Surely that was a mistake. Stefan, that's going to hurt him massively here. And he might never expect that, because we haven't seen alliances change in a very long time. Oh, of course the chat is on. It's just that these guys are not typing. They're communicating with violence. A pro player's favorite way of communication. Wow. Valis has now researched treason, so he got the ping of where the kings are. You can see that. He saw there. The king must be there. Immediately, Stefan relocates with his king and his queen, because he knows that could mean a snipe is coming. It doesn't tell you who researched treason, by the way. It does not tell you that. But you know it shows the location. If I was Stefan, I don't think he's realized this. I would be pissed. Because it's not like Red isn't trading with your market. I honestly don't know why Red would have been prompted to do that. Unless he wanted to get the king snipe. As all these barracks are going down for Red. And a big ball of siege onagers rolls in for C-Bomb. Which I think, yeah, that was the siege he was keeping in his workshops too. 145 military for Stefan. This is his last stand. He did get a king snipe earlier, so he's got 25 bucks guaranteed. But with 250 on the line to win, 150 on the line for second, and 100 on the line for third, he's going to want more, and also he's put up such a crazy game here, he's not going to want to give up without a big fight. And man, oh man, is he somehow holding this. Like, incredible play from Stefan. Also, this same castle stands. This same castle is still up. Honestly, okay, this is what you do. If you're orange, you just roll in here with your SO, and you just take out the Chukunu with one shot. Or you could even take out the castle. Like, Gray probably sees this, and he's like, this is really bad. This is not good. Okay, now the units eject. And that's obviously going to lead to some death. And now the castle falls. Okay. Yeah, this is... I mean, what a change it made once 20 of Orange's pop actually pushed forward. Okay. Stefan. Stefan turns on the illusionist now. The team is falling apart. The team is falling apart. They know they're going to die, so they're now turning on each other. But why, though? I think it's for king kills, probably. I think what happened there was Stefan was confused. I think he did not realize that Red was attacking him. Or he realized Red was attacking him, and he believed it was Red and Gray. So now Illusionist is like, whoa, yellow turned on me. I have to defend myself. And guys, there's a king in here. There is a king inside of that tower. That is Red's king. Does he realize? Oh, it almost went down. How did it not? And it does go down. And it was killed by the Mangudai from C-Bomb. So C-Bomb gets the kill. As for Gray, Gray's still in this game, but barely. His king is in this TC. And of course, you know, maybe now Stefan just wants to take out Gray. At this point, it kind of feels like that's going to be the case. C-Bomb, I guarantee you, he was thinking about the crazy things he could say when he made it into this game. He said, BRB, just updating my earnings on Liquipedia. $25 career earnings for C-Bomb. Let's go. Let's go. And Stefan knows exactly where that king is. Wait, where is the king? Oh, the king's on the move! C-Bomb's about to have $50 earned. The king is on the move. Meanwhile, Valis is making a push. We expected this. We knew it would happen. That king continues to move. You can see it on the minimap. In a TC now for Gray. C-Bomb, though, just researched treason. So he should have got a ping on where that is. And Gray is now going to run. And C-Bomb sees this. Now, who's going to get it? Soxy or C-Bomb? Because they're both really close to this. We've got Bombard Cannons only for blue, though. So, oh, and now you've got Stefan there. Stefan's like, give me my money. Oh, God, everyone wants to kill here. But that is a very weak light cav. Oh, no way. Oh, and Soxy gets it. Soxy gets it with the final poke. So, Soxy gets the king kill. I believe that's number 2 for him now. And now you've got Stefan trying to defend. We know Stefan's going to die. The Halb of the year for Soxy. But guys, we predicted this a year ago. Or no, sorry, an hour ago. In Age of Empires time, that's like 1,000 years. What happens after this? Like, you've got to be really worried if you're Valis. Because all your pop is over here. They could go for you. Now, they might not do it surprisingly. At this point, it seems like this war is done. But, like, this is plenty of precious time for Orange to go darting back home with the siege. And C-Bomb says, where are we off to next? You have to assume he is now talking to Soxy. And Soxy says yellow. So that's interesting. Soxy says, move your king too, if you haven't already. You know, for Stefan, he hasn't moved his king. Wait, they were allied with yellow that whole time? What? I didn't know that. I just assumed. Okay. Well, there goes the queen. The queen is distracting for her husband. Oh, that's so beautiful. She's like, finally, I don't have to live in a land of war. And she's going to run over and try and find some peaceful man in C-Bomb's town. Off to Ethiopia she goes. The king was killed by the siege onager from Valis. And Valis, I actually completely missed that one, excuse me. Valis gets his king, which he deserved. He deserved that. He fought so hard against Stefan this game. Okay, so now we've got 3 people. And this is where it gets extremely awkward. Like, in some ways, if Valis is the first to move, it's better for him. But in other ways, if he's the first to move, it's worse for him. Because if Soxy's kind of on the fence about what he wants to do, and then he sees that Valis attacks C-Bomb, he's going to defend C-Bomb. As long as you guys saw the king kill, that's good. I was looking at other data on the screen. So we've got 3 players remaining. And C-Bomb now turns on Valis. But he turns on Valis to kill things over here, I think. Oh, to kill the trade, of course. And Valis says, no, WTF. Now, it's funny, because I think he was actually going to be the one to turn. But again, whoever turns first looks kind of like the bad guy. And C-Bomb says, sorry, friend. And Valis now declares war on C-Bomb. But C-Bomb, like, where's your stuff at right now? You're kind of... It was kind of a little early here, I have to say. You don't have anything at home. And as for C-Bomb's king, if you're wondering, it is here, pretty close to all of this action that's coming forward. Thankfully, Mangudai are quick, but I mean, even the Siege Onagers are coming. Who knows if they'll get to a proper spot. Can you imagine being Valis, though? First, he had to face up against Longbow. Now he has to face up against Mangudai. And now Soxy's going to be up against Valis as well. It makes sense. Valis is the highest rated player in this game, at least from who's remaining. Top 20 player in the world. And the trade situation is much better for Orange and Blue if they stick together. Plus, they're both Australians. I do not blame them for this at all. At this point, all three of these players will place. It's just a matter of where they place and how it ends. Now, Valis notices this. He knows this is happening. So he's trying to get some value, as it might be hard for the players to control this and this at the same time. And this is a death ball, guys. C-Bomb might need to run to Soxy. The Mangudai are terrified of this, and he actually already has done it. He's already in the castle of Soxy. As C-Bomb says, I've got a problem. That is a lot of SO right now. And you can see what Valis is doing. He notices this is coming in, so he's trying to just pick it off where he can. I think ultimately he'll lose these barracks, but he could use the siege here in a second. I'll try and show you everything. Yes, he does have a problem. And this is what I talked about. Look at the shots! Oh, Valis! Oh, he's showing why they needed to 2v1 him. Wow, what crazy multitasking. Keep in mind, his king was here, so I feel like if you were going to turn, you needed to turn while Stefan was still alive and then take out that king. But now I'm not so sure. This is going to be cleared, right? That's not an issue. And for now, it's like they've got so much stuff left over in the other bases. They've got to get it all back home. They've got to get it all over here. And Soxy in particular, I mean, he's kind of pushing from this side. That's not going to do too much to save his teammate. It's also not going to do anything to save his trade. Alan says, no amount of loyalty would keep me from getting that easy kill on Orange. Yeah, it came into my mind as well, right? Like, if Soxy thinks, you know, about the cash side of things, he's like, I get an extra $100 if I just kill Orange right now. Potentially get even more than that. Well, you get an extra 125, actually, right? Or no, you get an extra 7. Anyways, forget it. I'm forgetting what we have for third, actually. I think it's still 100. I think second place is 150, and it's first place is 250. Woo! What crazy play here. This unit control is insane. Big shot there, though, from C-Bomb. And I feel like we're seeing his 1600 elo right now, because he's a little scared to engage with Mangudai. And Mangudai should be able to take pretty decent engagements against this. That's a lot of units. But Orange is Blue's shield. You see the slight, tiny little, teensy little push from Blue, I guess. He's getting some raids in, too. But the military count for Valis is the highest at 109. The C-Bomb says, I feel bad now. Does C-Bomb try and backstab Soxy? Oh my... Yes. Yes. C-Bomb says, I feel bad now. It's not nice to onager people in the face. And Valis says, you should. You just killed yourself. Now Blue will win 100%. Damn. We had, like, the community game. I feel bad now. It's not nice. And then Valis just showed up with the facts of the situation. He's like, yeah, you just killed yourself. If you would have fought with me, maybe you would have had a chance to win this. But Blue is going to win this now. And now C-Bomb's got to think about it. He's like shutting... This whole time he had the Australian national anthem playing in his room. And he like shuts that off. He's thinking. He's like, oh, is it worth betraying him? My countrymen? Is it worth it? I mean, it's risky now. He could get the king out of here, though. He could? Wait a second. Okay, the king's here for Soxy. There's Mangudai and also a king inside of Blue's castle, though, which is pretty crazy. But if you turn on Blue when your king is not in captivity, but it's a guest in the Ethiopian house, I don't think Blue is going to let you get away with that. Can you sing the Australian national anthem? No. Something on the Barbie, something. Yeah, that's my knowledge of Australia. I love my Aussie viewers. I've never heard the Australian national anthem. So I have no clue. All right. I'm ready for some massive PC breaking shots. I hope you guys are. Because this is about to get wild. Especially with Ethiopians. Ethiopians have some crazy splash. If he could hit this group of SO from green, wouldn't that be tasty? Okay, falls. Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! He fires! He gets one! No way! Boom! So many Siege Onagers down! But still, Valis will survive. He will still hold on. He's still somewhat okay. Ooh, castle there for C-Bomb. Okay. Who did not respond to the whole you just killed yourself thing. The thing is, though, he seems to be okay with that. He's a 1600. He's already going to place in the top 3. He did also mention he just wants an Australian to win this. I think that C-Bomb has a lot of respect for Soxy. Because they fought together the whole game. So I don't think it's necessarily going to keep him up at night. If he ends up losing this game to Soxy. Valis, though. He's got to be careful over here. C-Bomb knows that all is there. So he could try an Onager cut that and just go right in with the Hussars. Hussars could easily take out that tower. Like, I talked about how bad that was earlier. Honestly, it's his king's. If his king's gonna die there, it's probably gonna die in his base at this point because it's turned into a 2v1. He's just got to make one army work better than two. He does actually have similar army counts though to the whole team combined because he's got 140. Problem is, I would prefer Ethiopian Siege Onagers over Slav Siege Onagers because of the splash damage from Torsen engines. We just saw an example of that there. C-Bomb's king has now ungarrisoned voluntarily, it says. Big shots there. Also, great micro. Actually, not so good micro from Soxy because the castle's killing his stuff. But yeah, this is... Okay, C-Bomb realizes what's about to happen, and C-Bomb is now leaving Blue's base. He is leaving Blue's base. Now, you look at Blue's setup. He's got castle with a queen. He's got TC with a villager. TC with a halp. TC with a villager. Why is there a king in a TC? You should have your king in a castle. So if you want to play that game, go ahead. But I really don't think that's a wise move right there. I think Valis, though, is going to be our third place player. I don't see any way around that right now. He's fought well this game. But there's just so much going on. Hey, hold on a second. Hold on. I take it all back. He's going to clear up all the SO. And that's an expensive loss there for Soxy. Economically for Soxy, I'm going to look at the total resources in the stockpiles. Soxy's got only 24,000 gold. Okay, Soxy's fine. Valis is at the limit. C-Bomb with 3,000 gold. Still looking pretty good there, I think. It's funny how at one point Soxy had 0 trade and C-Bomb had 25. And now Soxy sits here with 25,000 gold. He really caught up there. None of this matters, by the way. Looks like Valis will try and get these relics. Wait a second. Who has... Hold on. Where's the relics? What's that situation look like? Soxy actually has 5. The reason I asked is because Relic Victory would work. Also, Wonder Victory could work, but... I don't think you can just run away and build a Wonder right now if you're Valis. You could try a King Snipe, but his army is very slow against the pace of the Mongols, so it seems unlikely. Okay. Okay, guys. C-Bomb. C-Bomb's going to try something. C-Bomb sees the writing on the wall. Did I look at the wrong stat? Oh, I've been looking at the wrong stat. Okay, so Soxy has 3, Valis has 2. Got it. And then there's 2 more over here. Anyways, Relic Victory isn't possible. T90 blind. But Soxy realizes that Valis is going to die. And I don't know if he knows that the king is in here, but this is an awful position for the king if you're Soxy. So you have the king now on the move because treason was just researched, and C-Bomb now says king in back corner. I like how that's been the trend. When treason is researched, the king gets relocated. Look, he relocates the king, he leaves the queen there. The queen is the bait. That's funny. All right. But again, the longer Valis holds on, And the longer that Soxy doesn't look at this and say, hey, maybe I should move my king. Hey, maybe I should call him out on that. The longer all that continues, the more you've got to think that maybe our lowest ranked player could possibly win this game. Would be exciting to see that. He's the only player that plays community games regularly. Everyone else a high-level player. C-Bomb, though, representing here today for all those people who show up on Fridays to the stream. King is now hiding in the wood line. I'm still looking for, like, some type of a side attempt. I think Valis is going to have a go and try and somehow sneak in and kill a king. You know what would be an interesting way of doing it if you're Valis? He's about to lose his last castle, so it's not possible anymore. Well, if he were to have researched treason and then told orange and blue where the kings were, that would have really shook things up here. Think about it. If you say, hey, your kings are right next to each other, boom, and you signal it, they might be like, no, we'll never kill each other. But it's already clear to me that orange is thinking about something. So maybe it would allow an opportunity for Valis to turn it into a 1v1. I don't know. A lot of people out there are like, wow, I didn't know we had so many Australian Age of Empires 2 players. Yeah, we do. We've got a few. We've got a solid core in Australia. Also, solid core of viewers. And, you know, if they... Thankfully, there's servers nowadays. What makes the Australian players so good is before there were servers, they had to get used to playing on awful ping, like 300 or 400 ping every game. But they could make it through that. Once the servers come in, even though they're still playing on a European server right now, there's still probably a lot of ping. They can make it through anything. Are we still on schedule? We're 30 minutes till the next game starts, so it kind of feels like our schedule's worked out so far. We'll see, though. Obviously, depends on how long this is going to go. Now, when you research treason, you don't get to know where your allies' kings are. C-Bomb says there's no way to live. Come out. Valis doesn't want to give it up. I'd be spamming treason, though, if I were Soxy. You've got, like, 20k gold. Just spam treason. Try and find out where the king is. But they're slowly taking his base down. Now, timing here is crucial. The longer that Valis is basically a dead man walking, the more time that Soxy and C-Bomb have to think about how they're going to play the end game. And C-Bomb wants to be proactive with it. You can clearly see here. Did he research treason? He did not research treason. Feels like a really bad move to not research treason here from Soxy. And C-Bomb now researches treason, so he knows the king is there. And he could signal this then to his teammate if he noticed it, because you only see it for a second. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay, it's about to get crazy, people. It's about to get crazy if Soxy sees this. And boom! Dead. Okay, how quickly does this move come in from C-Bomb? Do they chat? Do they... No, they don't chat. He made the move immediately. Now, will he eject the Rams and will he have Mangadite? Because his Mangadite were obviously very far forward. Also, you could lose everything because you're all going to start fighting each other. It gets really crazy. But the king, where's the king? Did the king move? The king moved to this TC. Okay, so all the trade's going to go down. Here comes C-Bomb. Vroom, vroom. He comes in with his Ferrari Rams. Goes in after the queen. He does not know exactly where that king is. Now, remember, the king is right here for C-Bomb. Not too far away. But there's a lot of stuff from Soxy that is out of position right now. So he needs to have that production. As it is just the queen that will die. The people in Soxy's town, they don't care. The king now runs away. It was a voluntary ungarrison. He hops into the castle. C-Bomb must not have a ton of gold left right now. Looking at his stockpiles, he's got 5,000. That's actually more than enough. Can our 1,600 ELO player do this? Both players here are Australian. Both players said they wanted an Australian to win. As Soxy is really worried right now. No! What do you... Stay in your castle! Next to your siege workshops. What is it with these high-level players doing this? I don't like that move. But you know what? Honestly, maybe that is the best move because he could end up losing all of this. Look, because of his own houses. No way. Because of his houses. He can see this. The tower is going to be built, though. The timing on this is so crucial. The tower's on the way. The king is in trouble. The king needs to hop in. The king is in. Okay, now, here you've got the Mangudai. Oh, C-Bomb got desperate. C-Bomb got desperate, people. He clicked everything he could over there. But in doing so, is losing everything. Oh, this is crazy. Can the keep stay up here? You've got Halbs. I think the keep will stay up. All the Mangudai died. It got flattened here. They got flattened here. Suddenly, there's blue everywhere. The king stays alive for now. What in the world? Woo! That was close. And you know what else is close? This king to all the action. I really hope C-Bomb remembers that and doesn't ungarrison whatever's in there thinking it's Mangudai. But Soxy's alive, guys. Soxy is alive. He will lose these bomber cannons to the Hussars, though. This is an expensive loss. But now they can kind of regroup. And once his king is protected, mount a push of siege onagers and halbs. And maybe some bomber cannons, too, to try and finish off C-Bomb. Who I think must realize that that kind of had to be it for him. He doesn't have many castles to produce the Mangudai from. He's only got 2. I think he's going to have to go again soon and not give time to Soxy here. We'll see. Let's see, though. There's a lot of orange flying in. We actually have orange flying in from this side, even. So you could consider this a raid, I guess. It definitely feels like what Soxy's building up to is a large number of siege onagers with halbs, and then he'll start making his push. Yeah, that's a lot of Mangudai there for C-Bomb. Soxy does not want to lose focus on this area right now. He needs to wait till he stabilizes a bit more. Stabilize with some town centers. Stabilize around that tower, of course. And yeah, now he's going to see the Mangudai. But what a great game here. I mean, Valis deserves our salutes. Valis had a great game. He gets 3rd place. He did end up getting, I think, 1 snipe as well in this game. So solid prize pool for him. Soxy's sitting pretty right now. Soxy got some good kills this game. Overall, it was an amazing one, but uh-oh, the Mangudai. The Mangudai! The Mangudai are going down. And the king. Whoa, what was this Treb doing here? Yo, are you kidding me? The sneaky Treb. The sneaky Treb went after the king, and the king hopped out and into the TC. And this is C-Bomb trying to... Like, he understands that he is the weaker player of the two, so he's trying to be sneaky. Or like sneak bomb. I don't see that really happening. The way this is going right now. It feels like the Hussars are just going to get mopped. But he is sniping siege onagers, and he is still keeping his king alive. And he is... Oof, that was crazy. He is able to make more Mangudai. He's got a lot in queue. He also, I think, really needs his own siege right now. I think he's so focused on Hussar Mangudai. I think going for your own siege like Rams would be very good here. I guess he did do that earlier. It's just hard to do everything at once. This is quality stuff. And they said it at the beginning. They said this is how they wanted it to look. We will see the overall stats near the end. But my goodness, man. Can someone remind me? Obviously, we had to do a refresh. So, Song Song was killed by Red, correct? I think Red got the snipe. I forget. I think Red did the work for it, but I feel like someone else stole the snipe. And then Teal was sniped by, well, that one was Stefan. Yeah. I'm almost sad to see Stefan and Valis are out. Like, if I could have watched them battle it out with Longbows and Siege all day, I would. Illusionist stole the kill. Okay. They've got like 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to think of how many players actually get paid out from this game. Like 5, maybe? Something like that. Okay, finally C-Bomb moves out of here. King waddles away. Waddle, 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 waddle. Anyways, here he goes. We're not fat shaming here. We're just observing. Observing natural movement. It was Soxy, the better player of the two. I'm going to look at resources now. So we've got the overall stockpiles here. Obviously, many players defeated. C-Bomb's running low on gold, but has wood and has food. Soxy with 26k gold, though. And the only thing he's missing out on is wood. But most of his villagers are only on wood. He's adding more vills to wood right now. So, with this castle down now, you've got to think that C-Bomb's going to have to try something sneaky from the side. Like, I don't know if he can do it with just hussars, but I mean, one castle to produce Mangadai is a bad, bad sign. Also, the fact he's making skirms is a very bad sign. So no, they are both not out of gold. There is plenty of gold there, Vazagan. Plenty. This is wild. It's probably the finish that both players would have wanted. The final two. And you see the movement now. I'm really happy with the Civ settings because I feel as though the like having the lowest rated player pick the first Civ has worked out really well here as well. It's kind of balanced it a bit. Skirms against SO? Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me here, Orange? Well, he got one. Ethiopian SO says goodbye, though. Yeah, you see, here come the Rams. He's trying to get in there. The king has now been relocated somewhere. Oh, it's in this TC. Okay. And C-Bomb's... Oh, wait a second. What? Was this left over from the attack on Valis? This castle's going to go down. And I can't see gather points with capture age. I imagine the gather point is either set close by or forward. Both of which could be bad. Oh, man. I doubt that... Honestly, maybe Soxy produced it from these siege workshops. Crazy that he would think about that. Regardless, even if the king doesn't go down to this, this means no more Mangadai with Mongols. And then at that point, no gold, no Mangadai. Surely it's over for C-Bomb. It seems like it always says ungarrison voluntarily if it leaves when the building gets weak. But yeah, where was that gather point set? I think he's going to go back to his castle to try and produce Mangadai soon, and he's going to realize that something's up here. But that might take a bit. We've had some massive shots this game. Skirms, of course, are actually all right against Halbs. It's not completely awful here. It's not like making, I don't know, Turk Spearmen or something. But it still gets smashed by the siege. The king is still there. This is not something that Soxy's looking for. I think Soxy is not going to research treason because he doesn't feel like he has to. He feels like he can just outplay his opponent to the finish. Being told there's a Mangadai ball in the south. Oh, he forgot about the Mangadai. We won't show that. We won't show that. He's going to rewatch this. We don't want him to know. We do not want him to know there's Mangadai there. So out of respect for C-Bomb, we'll talk about the Siege Onagers. Yeah, Siege Onagers killing Mangadai here. He's not going to have any more Mangadai. Oh my god, that's so sad. That is so sad for him. And okay, he's in the tower now, so he realized his king was there. But now he's making his own Siege Onagers. Like, this is what I was talking about. This is good. The military stats is really high for C-Bomb, actually. 130. And he says, how are your resources? Well, the resources we showed a moment ago, I'll show again. The stockpiles are just insane for Soxy. Soxy can do this all day. Now, the whole Hussar just passing through Halbs thing is kind of funny over here. That's been happening for a while. So that's not going to help the military pop for Orange. He is... Why do I hear a ram but can't see a ram? Oh, okay, there's a ram there. Never mind. I mean, he's actually got vills here. There's certain things he could maybe try. Soxy says pretty decent. But while his resources look good, his military number is not that good. Wait, unless I... No, I didn't see it wrong. Can C-Bomb actually do this? What's his food count right now? Stockpile, 40,000 food. Maybe he can do this. Maybe. I mean, if there's no more SO, Skirm Hussar could actually work. Woo. Okay. Big shots. I could restart capture age for the stutters, but at this point, the stutters are dedication to all the Australians out there, right? I'm also really happy DE hasn't crashed at all. Let's knock on wood, everyone. Knock on wood, please. DE has not crashed at all for any of the games that we've had. capture H program, new capture H we worked on for a long time to get all this data flying in, has also been pretty solid. So it's been a successful event so far. I guess my concern for Soxy is his army is so slow. So he needs to have a slow death ball push, and then mobility could just be constantly problematic if Hussars were to run in on the sides, for example. Like, the king is there. The problem I see is the fact that C-Bomb doesn't have excess gold to research treason, and he doesn't have a castle to research treason. So he doesn't know that. He doesn't know the king is there to look for it. You have no wood? Well, I'm sure your girlfriend is very disappointed then. I'm sorry to hear about that. But yeah, hopefully you knocked on whatever you had there. So this is probably more so a scouting expedition from C-Bomb, so we can try and determine where the king is. And he's not going to see any flags on the towers. He's now not going to see... Oh, well, he does see a flag there, actually. And it's just a couple vills. So I think he's going to loop. I think he's going to try and loop around this way, or loop around on the right, which is going to become a problem for him. Great job from Soxy to take out these buildings, because that is a pain. Yeah, I think he's going to go in for it. And I really think with the military counts, again, being pretty high, you can see it here, 111 versus 43, this could work out. But, okay, we made the jokes earlier. Dude, you've got to find this Mangadai. You've got to find these Mangadai. Come on. Okay, Orange says, up yet? I don't know what he's talking about exactly, because we're all children that can't see certain words. He says, thanks, DE. Thank you, C-Bomb, a true T90 viewer. Has the sun risen yet? Yeah, I did actually give these guys this. They actually had full availability as Australians, which is really tough to do. Because when you sign up, you say which games you're available for. I gave them I gave them both this game because I thought it'd be better for them, but I don't think it was great. I think they're deep into the night right now. And we've got... Oh, please, 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 please. One more shot. No! Big shots. Still so satisfying, man. We don't see siege onagers enough these days. Oh, baby. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Please, more of that right there. I want to check the gold count again. It's worth it to send in Hussars and... Oh, MVP Ram. 2 after SO. Let's look at the stockpile again. So, it's 0 workers. C-Bomb, I believe, has no relics, right? So, no relics. He could, in theory, trade with... Oh, dude. Oh, my God, it's right there on his screen. He could trade with Valis. That would actually be so epic. He's probably not going to think about that, but what a move it would be. He could trade with Valis. There's nothing C-Bomb... Or, sorry, Soxy could do about that. Now, Soxy has relics. There are also relics here for Valis. That's something that's going to be harder for them to notice. There's 2. But here you've got 3. And I could have sworn he had another monastery, but my go-to monastery hotkey isn't really a thing here, so... Well, ladies and gents, the next game's supposed to start in 10 minutes. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember the full matchups, but I can tell you that there's more high-level players. We got an awesome stack. The map is Bedouins. And I'm sure that Dave, if he's listening, is very excited to hear that. It was so funny. I was like, oh, Dave might join to cast game number 2 with me. I know what map we'll do. Bedouins. Should be crazy, though, because like this game, if you guys missed it, this game was very hard for people to trade because they can't get to the corners because of the wood line. Yeah, we've got Barles, we've got Dogao, we've got Miguel, we've got Dizzy Mac, we've got Nectary, we've got more names that I can't see on the list, actually. So, should be awesome. Later on today, we're going to have a game featuring MB... Oh, look at it, look at it, look at it, look! There's a flag. C-Bomb! C-Bomb, there's a flag on it! C-Bomb! C-Bomb! He thinks it's here because the last time he was here, there was a flag on this. Oh, God. Oh, God. I mean, C-Bomb's doing this, guys. C-Bomb is legitimately doing it. A 1,600 player is pushing a 2,100 player. And he only survived to this point because of his experience in the community games. He's getting bigger SO shots than the Ethiopian player is able to. And this has not been noticed. Wait. Okay, so he hit the TC and didn't see a flag. He's now coming back to look for flags. He's looking. He sees a flag. Now, I don't know where the gather point is for the TC. I imagine it's probably here. Panic. The king is on the farm. The king wants to be a farmer. He wants to be one of the people. Come on, C-Bomb. Tell me you noticed that. The Rams don't have vision, right? So the Rams don't actually see the king. Now the king is moving. And it's sitting right next to a ram. If only Rams did more damage. I don't think he's noticing this, guys. I don't think he knows, but I know Soxy knows. So possibly a wake-up call for Soxy. As Soxy was microing here, that almost worked. Woo! Why only attack with Rams? The C-Bomb says it's not fair. I wasn't looking. Dude, they're busy, man. They've got to try and reboom. They've got to do unit production. They've got to micro this army comp on the front. You are right, though. I think if you're going to go in with something, you do need to go in with a few Hussars. Easy to say after the fact. Because when he went in, he didn't know where the king was. So he probably is just happy to take out the TC. But if only he knew. I swear, like, the lack of Mangadai is going to be a consistent concern. And I just keep looking down here. And this is a problem. Also, attacking the market still. He could have invested the gold into trading there. But now we'll look to the military stats, and there's been a full shift here. And we kind of felt like it was coming for a while. Soxy with 100 army. C-Bomb with 50. For me, I feel like the only opportunities remaining for C-Bomb would be if he goes for another sneaky raid. So kill these bomber cannons, which somehow are still alive there. Like, what? Okay. But look at the carnage, guys. I guess a lot of it's been flattened out now, but just look at this game. It's been incredible. 3 hours, 22 minutes. This is what Regicide Rumble is all about. And thanks to Capture H for working with me on this. It's been so nice to be able to see the king location and alerts. Have the data here, of course, to see the stockpiles too, and more things to come. It's been so nice to have that. It's been so nice to have the players performing so well. I mean, I was a little nervous at the start because in this game there was a player in particular who didn't really seem to know what was up. We have a castle here for C-Bomb. He's now running down here with his king, though. Why? Well, I guess this is why. He's worried he's going to lose this. Maybe when he looks down here, he will see the Mangadai. Soxy's actually building up here. And will get vision from this barracks. Oh, God, that's crazy. But again, thanks, Microsoft, for sponsoring this. And thanks to the fans, man. Not just to the people here watching the stream who've stood by me and supported me and been enjoying the content, but also, of course, to everyone who will watch later on YouTube. It means a lot. Thank you again, Lynn, Grant. Thank you, Death in the shape of a handsome Italian. Thank you, Azure Sentry. Thank you, R-Base. Thanks, Shulker. Yo, he's going for it right now. Oh, God. He's going for it, guys. And when he shows up, there will be no mystery as to where the king is located. He knows exactly where that king is located. And he's going to be like, that seems bad. Because remember, he doesn't have any gold remaining. He would have to somehow deal with this. Soxy used his excess gold to buy the stone for that. And I think that while the Hussars could do some raids, this is going to lead to C-Bomb eventually dying and getting second place, pocketing only $150. That is, of course, before his rewards for the King Snipes. I mean, Soxy had enough warnings in this game to eventually realize this. And I think with that much gold, it would be foolish to not build even more castles right now. That said, Hussars are always going to catch you off guard, man. And C-Bomb's military count has changed again. He's at 107. How much food does he have? Now he's out of food, though. Yeah, so, like, before he worked through all of his gold. Now he's worked through all of his food. Once he's finished with this, then he's definitely done. God, if only he had those Mangadai. If those Mangadai would have been with those 3 Rams, that would have been it. C-Bomb would have won the game. Holy crap. Who got the Valis kill? You can actually see who gets the kill for the kings with the skull color. So Soxy killed gray and Soxy killed green. The only reason we don't have the king information for the other two players is because I restarted Capture Age. Which I could do again, and then it'd be peachy smooth performance, but I don't want to do that. We're so close to the end here. We're now probably going to be a little bit off schedule for the second game, just like a teensy bit. But we're so close. A C-Bomb says, my res doesn't look good so more. Soxy says, mine's still not too bad. And I think C-Bomb is going to give it up here. He fought so well. 1,600 elo with all the big boys. Okay, apparently follow isn't the best thing to do, so we won't do that. C-Bomb, he is ready to call it quits. Capture Age is too, apparently. Now it's like starting to stutter on me. Come on, dude. Come on, Capture Age. You got this. It was going to be me or you. That's all that mattered. Soxy said together until the bitter end. And I think this is the end. He could have resigned, guys. He could have resigned. He's giving an additional $25 to our worthy champion, Soxy, here on Donut. And Soxy says, well fought, GG, well played. And, I mean, you could have found a less miserable way to die. You could just poke this guy to death, but he gets the kill. What a game. 3 hours and 30 minutes. This was incredible. I wish we had a heat map that showed the activity on the minimap. And to everyone who may have just shown up over the last hour or two and enjoyed this game, you missed a lot of crazy action. It started off and players were a little tentative on who to ally, but as I kind of thought for this weekend and beyond, I kind of felt like with pro players, it would always turn into big 3v3s and then branch off from that. But at the very start, Soxy and C-Bomb just ended up being next to each other. We had a 1,600 and a 2,100, both from Australia, and C-Bomb said, I want it to be you or me that wins this game. They fought together the entire game. They fought with Valis the entire game until it was only the final three. I can't even pick out a favorite moment from this game. I think what was so cool to continue to just look back to was the amazing 1v1 between Stefan and Valis. It was insane. We had Longbows dying to Siege Onagers, but Siege Onagers dying to Longbows. Stefan was so close to killing that king. Do you remember? He had like 4 light cav and 6 Longbows underneath the tower. He almost killed Valis' king. It was an incredible game. Really good game, and I was worried about this map. I wasn't sure what this map would bring us because of the lack of trade opportunity, but players figured it out. There's Stefan's queen, by the way, so she survived for those wondering. Now we're going to look to the end statistics. You can see I did restart the game halfway through, so we don't have some of the timeline information there. I think, actually, with that said, I will actually just go into the actual game for the stats. I think that makes more sense here. Soxy with 3,900 kills, C-Bomb with 3,400 kills. They were extremely active this game. And economically, C-Bomb had more food, Soxy had more wood, Soxy had more gold, and Soxy had more trade gold. So it definitely makes sense. I felt like for Illusionist and Tatas here, Song, they couldn't quite figure out how they were going to play it. And they were a little reactionary in how they played the game. Look at that timeline. Like, Song was the perfect example. Song didn't ally anyone until he was being killed by 3 people. like I don't think he knew what was up. And he said his last word was help right before his king died. So he was reactionary, I guess. And then, yeah, like Red and Gray were fighting together. But maybe they could have used Song. Or maybe Stefan shouldn't have killed Cosmonaut. You took the easy kill. You then lacked an ally. And I think that it didn't help them. Obviously easy to say now at the conclusion.